Oh, okay, let me hold my phone up like this. Hi, everyone. I look a little... 1 second. I'm gonna wait for some folks to hop in here. I forgot how to use this thing. Oh, hi. I'm gonna wave to you. I'm in the car today because I have an appointment to go to right after this, so don't mind my hair and obviously the car. I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes. And right now I'm just flipping. I have the book on a Kindle, so I'm just on the Kindle app. So I'm just scrolling through which chapters I think would be most interesting. Hey, Charlicia. I'm just waiting for about another minute for folks to join in, and right now I'm looking through the book on my iPad and trying to find the most interesting chapters. So let me move the seat back a little bit. Okay. Okay, about another minute. I'll give it to 12:09 and then I'll start reading. Okay, I will go ahead and start. So I'm going to start with, I hope I say this correctly, the prologue. And then I will get into a chapter that I think is the most interesting. And I'll only be on here for about a good 20 minutes because I do have an appointment, but I just want to make sure that we are able to read, or give ourselves adequate times to read. So, and it starts, in the year of our Lord, 2019, 32-year-old Eva Mercy nearly choked to death on a piece of gum. She'd been attempting to masturbate when the gum lodged in her throat, cutting off her air supply. Okay, there we go, I'm back. As she slowly blacked out, she kept imagining her daughter, Audrey, finding her flailing about in Christmas jammies while clutching a tube of strawberry lube in a dildo called the quarterback, which vibrated at a much higher frequency than advertised, gum choking frequency. The obituary headline would be "Death by Dildo." Hell of a legacy to leave her orphan 12-year-old. Eva didn't die, though. She eventually coughed up the gum. Shaken, she buried the quarterback in a drawer full of hip-hop concert tees, slipped on her ancient camo ring, and padded down the hall to wake up Audrey for her BFF Hampton's birthday party. She had no time to dwell on her brush with mortality. While she admitted to being a damn good mom and a capable novelist, Eva's true talent was her ability to push weird shit aside and get on with life. This time, she did it a little too well and missed the obvious. When Eva Mercy was little, her mom had told her that Creole women see signs. This was back when Eva's only understanding of Creole was that it was vaguely connected to Louisiana and black people with French last names. It wasn't until junior high that she realized her mom was, what's a fair word, eccentric, and curated signs to justify her whims. Mariah Carey released an album called Charm Bracelet. Let's blow rent on cubic zirconia charms it sells. Point is, Eva was wired to believe that the universe sent her messages. So it should have occurred to her to expect a life-altering drama after Trident Gate. After all, she had a near-death experience before. And that time, like this one, she woke up to her world forever changed. Okay. So that was a good prologue. So I'm going to go back to the table of contents. And I'm going to read Thus With a Kiss I Die, and that's chapter 8. "2004. Genevieve's temples were throbbing like crazy. The tussle with Lizette's pedo boyfriend earlier that morning had wrecked her head, and the sunlight beaming brightly on the schoolyard wasn't helping. It was the first Monday in June, and her first day at this Washington, D.C. high school. Admittedly, being new at the tail end of senior year was awkward, but Genevieve was a pro at not fitting in. At her previous 4 high schools, she had been either catnip for generic mean girls or ignored. But each night, with clockwork regularity, she'd whip out her steno pad and fix it. She'd rewrite the day in her favor, turn herself into a superhero, get them all back in fiction. It's my own fault. Who would want to be friends with me? Her face was usually contorted into a pain-induced grimace. In terms of conversation, she had 2 settings, seriously blunt or deeply sarcastic. She didn't giggle. Genevieve didn't mean to be off-putting, but just like today, she usually lived 5 lives by the time she got to school. She hadn't yet learned how to put on a mask of being fine despite her personal disasters. And so far, 12th grade had been a disaster. She always managed to maintain a 4.0, but this year, her migraines had blossomed into gothic territory. Hurting too badly to focus on school, she started spending multiple days in bed, either in paralyzing agony, high from painkillers, or a nauseating combination of both. Her had become D-minuses. I'm sorry, I wrote that wrong. Her A's had become D-minuses. Causing Princeton to rescind her admission. Princeton was supposed to save her. What would save her now? In the tub that morning, Genevieve had an epiphany. It was time for a friend. She wanted to know someone's secrets, and she needed someone to know hers. Washington, D.C. would be a fresh start. She'd just pick up someone and dive in. How hard could this be? Horrible people had friends. O.J. Simpson had friends. Her last school, back in Cincinnati, had been tough, but West Truman High was way tougher. The schoolyard was erupting with kids in utter chaos, with no teachers in sight. The crowd was G-Unit fresh in throwback jerseys, Timbs in candy-colored weaves. Percussion-frenzied go-go beats were blasting from a boombox, and half the school had on Madness tees. In contrast, Genevieve's look was tomboy meets I don't give a shit, and she was wearing an ancient Nas Illmatic concert tee, sweatpants she cut into shorts, and Air Force Ones. Her curly coils were piled into a massive pony atop her head. As usual, she hid her scrawny frame in an oversized men's work shirt. She stationed herself by the bleachers in a cigarette graveyard. Operation Friend looked bleak. The schoolyard crowd seemed impenetrably, that's a hard word for me, cliquey. There were some lone students scattered on the bleachers, though. Squinting in the sun, she surveyed the rows for a friendly face. He was sitting at the top row of the bleachers, leaning against the heavily tagged brick wall. White tee and Timbs. A book was balanced on his lap, and he was reading it with his brow furrowed in concentration, chewing his lip. He looked like he was living the words. That's how I read too, she thought. Then he turned a page, and she caught a glimpse of his gold-flecked chestnut eyes. The sun caught them, and they shone bronze. Was it a trick of the light? This boy had radiated such peacefulness. An angel among mortals. Genevieve trusted beautiful boys. She was safe with them because they wanted prom queens, not her. Boys in her league were the only ones to worry about. She headed up the rickety bleachers. That was when she noticed the fraying cast on his left arm, no signatures. She got a bit closer and saw a fresh scab slashed across his nose. A step closer, and she saw that his knuckles on both hands were bruised purple and green. His pupils were really, really dilated. Okay, he was looking a little less angelic. But now she was standing in front of him, and it was too late to turn back. She peered up at her with mild... He peered up with her with mild curiosity and then went back to his book, James Baldwin's Another Country. Hey, she said, can I sit here? Silence. Before she lost her nerve, she plopped down next to him. I'm Genevieve Mercier, she pronounced it. Or Mercier. He frowned at her. It's French. He gave her a look like no shit. Is it cool that I'm sitting here? No. Are you an asshole? Oui. Social experiment failed. Genevieve knew better than to equate beauty with perfection. She lived with a former Miss Louisiana who looked pristine, but had once dusted their entire apartment with a Neutrogena face wipe. She still had 15 minutes until the bell would ring. And in the meantime, the sun was slaughtering her head. Clumsily, she rifled through her backpack and pulled out a palm-sized vial of lavender, peppermint, and citronelle oil and rubbed it over her temples. It tingled pleasantly. Then Genevieve noticed that he was watching her, his book abandoned. I get migraines, she explained. It's so bad I barely ever move my head. For example, if I want to look to the right, I have to move my whole body, like this. She swiveled from her waist to face him. His expression was cloudy with distrust and confusion. Is this a setup? Is someone about to jump me? His voice was drowsy and bored. You a dealer? My bad if I owe you money. Do I look like a dealer to you? I've had girl dealers, he shrugged. I'm a feminist. I wouldn't set you up to get jumped. I do it myself. He checked her petite frame. You're the size of a Jolly Rancher. I have a Napoleon complex. Girls can't have that. Okay, feminist, Genevieve rolled her eyes, causing a small tornado in her temples. Two girls walked by, glanced up at them, and giggled before scurrying away. He scowled at her. Why are you here? I'm trying to make friends, said Genevieve. I don't have any. I can't imagine why. I don't know what to say to people. He stuck the eraser end of a pencil into his cast and in slow-mo dragged it back and forth. What do normal people talk about? Prom? Murder Incorporated? Fuck if I know, she admitted. It's all good, though. We can sit in silence. Knock yourself out. He returned to his book. So he wasn't super welcoming, but at least now she knew someone at this big, intimidating school. At a loss for what to do now, she shielded her eyes from the sun with her hand and rubbed more oil into her temples. Genevieve sensed the guy watching her. He was about to explain to him the tension-relieving benefits of lavender when he pulled Ray-Bans out of his jean pockets and handed them to her. She put them on, stunned by his generosity. Then he exhaled, shut the book, and leaned back against the brick wall, eyes closed. Genevieve couldn't help but stare. She had never seen a face like this. Her stomach fluttered a bit, and she bit her lip. No, She couldn't get a crush. She didn't trust herself, as she always went too far. But looking at him wouldn't hurt. She studied his dreamy, far-out expression, wondering what he was on. Morphine? She asked. Ketamine? He opened one eye. You sure you're not a dealer? I have legal prescriptions. I'm basically an apothecary. She paused. Oh, true. Apothecary. The drugs are quick. Thus with the kiss I die, he replied reflexively. Keats? Shakespeare? Exclaimed Genevieve. Remember which play? Romeo and Juliet, he grumbled. Oh, are you a writer? Or just an AP English hoe? He shrugged. I write too. You any good? Same shrug. She smirked. I'm better. And then he chuckled. And it was an unlikely surprising thing, like being trampled by a unicorn stampede in Narnia. Jesus, he was a lot. She needed a distraction. I'm hungry, she blurted out awkwardly. You want a peach? I have two. He shook his head. Genevieve unzipped her backpack, unearthing a peach in a delicate, razor-sharp... Sorry, y'all. Genevieve unzipped her backpack, unearthing a peach in a delicate, razor-sharp pocket knife. Propping her elbows on her knees, she clicked open the blade and angled it along the seam of the peach. It was always so satisfying, feeling the tautness of the skin under the blade, the tension. With a gentle press, the skin burst and juice dribbled out. She caught it with her tongue. And then she cut off a piece, using her thumb as an anchor, and popped it into her mouth. Chomping, Genevieve glanced at her new friend. He had looked like he'd seen his first natural rainbow. That's how you